Greetings. I'm sorry that we cannot meet in person, but I wanted to give you first instructions on your article review. And that will be due next class, next week. And it only has to be about, 2 to 3 typed pages. But I just wanted to go over all of the instructions for this because they are somewhat specific. And this is the assignment that you'll most likely upload to Tavera for the records. I used to upload your final project, which the final paper, which I tend to like, but we all want to do the same thing, and these instructions are fairly specific. But if you simply follow the outline, you'll do fine. And once again, if there are any problems, like if you miss something, don't worry, you can fix it and do it again. The other thing I want to say is that some of you are working on your final project as individuals, and some are working in 2 partner pairs. But every individual student in the class will do a different journal article for this. So everybody has their own assignment for this, even if you're working with a partner for your lit review and final paper. This is an individual project. But the good part about that is, if you're working as an individual, that's fine. You can use parts of what you write for this for your lit review. If you're working in partners, with partners, you'll be able to use parts from from 2 journal reviews for your lit review. So you won't be able to just cut and paste the entire journal review into your lit review, but you will be able to take large portions of it when you're discussing whatever the topic is from that journal article in your lit review. So it's not wasted time or busy work. I think you'll be able to use what you do in this project for your lit review. I will have a separate video going over the different components of your lit review so that you can get started on that. I think it's good to get started on the lit review the same time you're doing the article review. Because they are connected. So the due date for this article review is next class. Okay, I will create a Dropbox for it, and you can submit it anytime before next class, and you should have already submitted your references this past week. So you should have at least a dozen references, and we are well on our way with this project. It's a good start. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is just share the syllabus. Okay, so I already scrolled ahead, but this is a section of your syllabus. I think it is page 19. Yeah. So on page 19, it has the instructions for your journal article critique. Now, the first thing I'd like to say is, don't just pick any journal article. Pick a good one. Pick one that you like. Pick one that you think you're going to use quite a bit in your lit review, and that you think it has some pertinent information for your research and topic. I would not pick one that I don't like or that you think is not written well, or, I would pick one that you think is a well done and applicable journal for your topic. Okay. And if you're in partners, pick different articles. Okay, so let's just look at this in your syllabus, and you'll complete a quantitative article this semester. So remember, we talked about quantitative and qualitative research, and this is going to be quantitative. And that just means that it has some measurements in it. It has a study. They used a study. So that's really the main criteria so that your journal article would qualify for this assignment. That they did some kind of study, and maybe they applied a theory to a certain diagnosis or population, and they got some statistical results. Now, so once you're done, I'm going to have a Dropbox for you, and you'll put it in that Dropbox by next Tuesday. And the first thing you're going to include right here, everything's going to be in APA. Okay, so you're going to have an APA title page. And it says if you include additional reference like the ACA Code of Ethics, which you don't have to, you'll also need a reference page. Now, you've already done a reference page, and this article, whatever article you're reviewing, should be included on that reference page that you've handed in. And if it's not, add it. Add it to your reference page. Okay. So title page, reference page. You do not need an abstract for this. Okay, these are simply chapters. We have not gone over a couple of these chapters yet, but we will probably after spring break. I usually go over sampling instruments when we discuss the study itself. I do that in a little different order, but I think you'll be fine for this assignment. Okay, now this is what we call rubrics for your assignment. And so the component is basically, you want it in APA, you want a description of what the article is covering. So this is going to be part of your larger project, but this article should have its own literature review within the article. What did it find? What did these researchers find when they did a literature review for the article you're reading? Do they have research questions in the article? They should. Or if they're not research questions, they may have a hypothesis. So it's either research questions or hypothesis. We went over what our research questions are. We have not gone over what a hypothesis is yet. We're going to do that after spring break. But it doesn't matter. They're going to tell you what their research questions are or their hypothesis. You just have to make note of that in your review. Okay. We want you to be able to do this. Use APA format for a citation without errors. So if you need, you should probably cite parts of this journal article in your article critique. Clearly describe what the study's about, clearly state the rationale and what they found in their literature review, identify either their research questions and hypotheses. Okay, the next one, research questions, design. How did they run their study? And they'll describe that to you in a paragraph in the article, and you can quote parts of it. Okay. What did they find as a result of their study? So what were their conclusions? What were the strengths and weaknesses? What are the implications? Do they think that whatever they studied could be used to help people, or was it not significant? What's your response, your critical thoughts about the journal article? You have to have your own professional opinion as well. And make sure that you use good spelling, grammar checks, sentence and paragraph structure. The paper should flow. It's hard to describe this, but you should be able to speak or write in a professional manner. So as you read all the articles, try to grasp or understand kind of their professional way of writing. So it's a little more sophisticated than the way we talk with one another. It's a little more formal. So write professionally. That's a difficult one to explain, but I think you'll get the idea. All right. That is all you need to do. Make sure you go over. You want target. You don't just want to be acceptable. You want the full credit. So look at this column. This is what they're looking for. This is a description of how you would get full credit. Okay? It's fairly straightforward. You could have, one or two paragraphs on each one of these rubrics. So that this is a paragraph, this is a paragraph, there. So I'd say maybe 6 paragraphs would be two pages. We're looking for 2 to 3 APA style pages, double spaced. Follow all the regular guidelines. We don't want large fonts. We don't want more than double spaced. We don't want more than a 1-inch margin, things like that. Don't use a giant font. Don't use extra spacing. Don't use an extra large margin. Graduate school kind of paper. All right. And you can email me. I'll be happy to answer any questions. I also want to show you, I don't have a sample of this exact paper, but I do have a sample of a final paper that a student did. And the reason I want to show you that is because you may want to know what a title page looks like, okay? Or you may want to know, you don't need an abstract for this assignment, but you may want to know what a citation in the text looks like, okay? And there's another one. These are some statistics for her significance. She talks about various articles within her literature review. So she also talks about her model. But I'm just showing you this. It's a different assignment. It's the final paper. But just so you can get a better understanding of the APA style. It's just an example of what a citation looks like in the text. Okay. All right. So that's your assignment for this week. I'm going to create another video going over the lit review, which you should also be starting now, and the journal articles that you're reviewing now for it, you can include in that. But that's going to be due right after spring break, and yet it's only a few weeks away. Okay, so I would get started on this. We're going to go over everything again next week when I'm present in class. But, I just wanted to make sure we didn't miss a class. Okay. All right. So I will see you next week. If you have any questions, please email me.